Hello and welcome back to Stop and Go F1 for this, our race preview for United States Grand Prix. My goodness, it's been a while since I've been able to say that. In this video, we're going to have a look at all the news heading into this race. There is a lot of special liveries to discuss this week as well, so we're having a look at that, making our big predictions as well as probably a whole boatload of fun, of course. All that to come in the video. Before that, though, remember to like and subscribe. That is the rules. And a huge shout out to our members, Dakota, The Joyous James, Robin Myers, and Cinnamon Strudel. If you want to become a member, there's a link in the description. My goodness, here we are, everyone. F1 is back this weekend in Texas. One of the the better tracks on the calendar. I know last year it was a bit of a disappointing race, but history dictates that normally the races here are quite good, ignoring last year's race and sprint race, both of which were very bad. But it is a sprint race weekend, which brings us to kind of the predicament I have here with the preview, because we're doing the preview on today, which is Thursday. Tomorrow we'll have reaction to qualifying. Saturday is the sprint race and qualifying for the main race. Then on Sunday we'll have the main race itself. So we kind of have to move videos around. So we're sitting here with the preview where we haven't had the media day yet, because it's not only is it a sprint race, but it's in America, and that's a different time to what we have here in the UK. I thought before, when I was sat on my lunch, it's been quite quiet in terms of news. Then I looked it up, and it turned out it was 6 o'clock in the morning in Texas, so I wasn't surprised that they hadn't had that yet. So there might be some more headline stuff that comes out overnight that we might have to cover going into the weekend. But yeah, we've got the best we have at the minute here for the preview. There is no upgrade corner because that hasn't been announced, although we will touch a little bit on upgrades in general. Special Helmet Street is incredibly sparse because we haven't actually seen anything yet, so that might grow as we go through the weekend. But we have got news to talk about, we have got predictions to talk about, we've got lots of stuff to discuss, but to make up for the lack of certain things that you've come to expect from the preview, I thought I would do something special and embrace some Texas-based culture, everyone. Wabang. How are we feeling about this? Here we go. A cowboy hat for the video. This is the extra mile I've prepared to go to. If you're listening on Spotify, I suggest you make your way over to YouTube to see this spectacle, because, my goodness, am I happy with this purchase. I feel like I've fully embraced the Texas way. The hat will be making numerous appearances throughout the weekend to fully get into that mindset of the people of Texas. So let's talk about some Formula One. The good, the bad, and the ugly. There you go. That's a cowboy film there. More cowboy references include Hoedown, Throwdown, and Back to the Future 3. For more cowboy references, make sure you subscribe. Let's talk about some news, though, because, like I said, no upgrade corner, but we have got lots of rumours of upgrades, which will become confirmed either tonight or tomorrow. So, as with years before, it seems like this race is kind of the last big upgrade package for a lot of our teams. Of course, this has been amplified this year round because we've had this massive gap between the last race in Singapore and this race here, where unlike in the summer break, the teams can continue to work on their cars as that break has gone on. So for the last few weeks, every team has just been in the factory trying to improve their car as best as they can. So this race here, we'll see quite a few big upgrade packages arrive. Red Bull have been talking about their upgrade package for Austin for quite some time. This seems like it's a make or break upgrade package for Red Bull coming in this weekend. Of course, their car has been going backwards over the past few months. They say they have found the root of the problem, and it came from the Spanish Grand Prix last year. They've reverted back and built forward again, so hopefully they're feeling that their upgrade this weekend will propel them back to the front of the grid. But meanwhile, McLaren, who have been at the front of the grid for the last few races, last few months, I mean, you have to go back realistically to maybe China to see a race where Red Bull were out-and-out favourites throughout the entire weekend. But McLaren are also bringing a big upgrade package this weekend, as are Mercedes. So 3 teams at the front of the grid bringing big potential upgrade packages to this weekend. One of the bigger teams at the front of the grid that aren't bringing a big upgrade package this weekend is Ferrari, which is quite strange because they were supposed to. So here's the headline here. Ferrari have taken the decision to hold back on introducing major changes at the American Grand Prix. Instead, Ferrari are choosing to focus on optimizing their existing package and collecting more data. So Ferrari holding back on that big upgrade package that they had planned for this weekend in order to fine-tune it, maybe. But I feel, and this is a late addition to the script that I'm making up right now, because a story came out earlier today about the FIA looking at a team that may be doing something ever so slightly illegal. Now, it hasn't been mentioned which team this is, but I do think maybe it's purely coincidence, maybe not, but the FIA looking into something incredibly specific, and then Ferrari having to cancel their upgrades for a few weeks, there's no smoke without fire. This was a statement from an FIA spokesperson. So the suspicion has come from several teams about a potential exploit being used by a team to alter the floor bib height between qualifying and the race. An FIA spokesman said any adjustments to the front bib clearance during parc fermé conditions is strictly prohibited by the regulations. While we have not received any indication of any team employing such a system, the FIA remains vigilant in our ongoing efforts to enhance the policing of the sport. As part of this, we have implemented procedural adjustments to ensure the front bib clearance cannot be easily modified. In some cases, this may involve the application of a seal to provide further assurance of this compliance. So, a team has found a way to basically change a bit of their floor height between parc fermé and the actual race. I'm adjusting the hat. There we go. Oh my god. I just caught a glimpse of myself then. Right. So a team, howdy, has found a way to maybe be altering their floor height between when the FIA is looking at it and when the car is actually on the track. So they have now found a new way to make sure that doesn't happen. And purely by coincidence, Ferrari have decided that their upgrades might not arrive this weekend. Could be coincidence, could not be. I'll leave that with you to decide how you feel about that one, and we'll move on from there. But yeah, huge weekend for upgrades, and this really paints the rest of the season from here. This is the last big upgrades for the guys at the front of the grid. We will see from here. This will dictate our front of the grid, and it could dictate the Drivers' Championship. Now, personally, I am still in the camp of people, which I feel is now a very small camp of people. It might just be me, but I am in the camp of people who still feels there's not a title battle on the line here. And I know that might be a very unpopular opinion, but realistically, let's look at the stats here. I think it's between Miami and now. The gap between Max Verstappen and Lando Norris, I think, has decreased by 1 point. How many races has that been? When the McLaren has been the faster car, Red Bull have been struggling, and it just hasn't gone the way of Lando Norris. I'm going to double check my facts here, everyone, because that's the kind of guy I am. But, it's been this long, and Lando hasn't been able to cut that gap down. So I don't see how he can do it in the last 6 races when he hasn't done it all year. So let's get some true stats here, everyone. We're going to go from Miami 2024. So at that point in time, Max Verstappen had 136 points after the Miami Grand Prix. Lando Norris had 83. That gives us a gap of 53 points, everyone. 53 points. So, let's go now to Singapore, which was our last race. Max Verstappen has 331 points. Lando Norris has 279, which is a gap of 52 points. So I was right there, everyone. Between Miami, Lando Norris' first win, and Singapore, the last race, Lando Norris has cut into the dent of Max Verstappen's title. I'm stumbling over words here. I'm going to try the sentence again. Apologies, everyone. Between Miami, Lando Norris' first win, and Singapore, the last race we had here, Lando Norris has cut into Max Verstappen's title lead by 1 point. The Miami Grand Prix was the 6th race of the year. Since then, we have had 12 races, and Lando Norris has gained 1 point. We have 6 races to go. There's a couple sprints in there, but nonetheless, 6 races to go. And people expect him to now gain 53 points. In half the time it has taken him to gain 1. I hope you forgive me for feeling there is not a title battle on here, but that is how I feel. Lando Norris, prove me wrong. When I cut that up for a short, and I don't explain the hat, it's going to look like a madness. Anyway, let's talk about the Sauber second seat, because it's been like 2 or 3 weeks since we've spoken about the Sauber second seat, and it's the maddest story of the year that no one's talking about apart from me, because we talk about it every week, and every week a new person becomes the highest potential person of getting the seat. At one point, it was Gabriele Bortoletto's seat, signed, sealed, and delivered. Then the week after that, it was Franco Colapinto's seat, signed, sealed, and delivered. The week after that, Valtteri Bottas' seat, signed, sealed, and delivered. And here's a new story, everyone. Sauber boss Mattia Bonotto has confirmed they are evaluating Mick Schumacher for their driver lineup. He went on to say, "We are definitely evaluating him. I met him and spoke to him. I have known him for a long time, having been part of the Ferrari Driver Academy. I know his strengths and advantages. He is one of the names we have in mind. We can afford the luxury of not rushing, since all the other teams have decided their lineups. There are 2 essential options. On one hand, experience to set up on the growth part. On the other hand is a young, talented driver who can accompany us to the top." So there you go, everyone. Mick Schumacher is now in contention for that seat. My opinion hasn't changed. I still feel they should go with Gabriele Bortoletto, but nonetheless, another name in the big lineup of names who could be in the Sauber second seat. Bonotto's got a point, though, here, where, every other team is decided. There is 1 seat available in F1 for next year. Well, there's the whole Red Bull stuff, but we'll talk about that at a later date, because that seems to be, a very closed shop. You need to be in a certain club to get the Red Bull or the Racing Bulls seat. The Sauber seat can potentially go to anyone. So there is 1 seat, and a lot of drivers fighting for it. So they can afford to just take their time. They can afford to see what happens to Bortoletto in F2. They can afford to see how Colapinto does for the rest of the year. They can afford to... I don't even know what Mick's doing. Is WEC still on? I imagine WEC is still on. They can afford to watch Mick in WEC. It's fine. But yeah, they're going to take their time. We'll find out when we find out. I hope it's Bortoletto. And moving on, finally, we've got to talk about Liam Lawson this weekend. It's his first F1 weekend back. I think his last one was the Qatar GP of last year, whilst he was filling in for Ricciardo whilst he was out with his broken wrist. Of course, now he has replaced Ricciardo full-time. Lots of stories going round. We spoke about it last weekend if you want to see that in more detail, but it very much seems like this is being positioned as a Yuki versus Lawson battle, and whoever wins over these next 6 races will be alongside Max Verstappen next year. Personally, I don't think it is Yuki versus Lawson. I think it's a thing of, if Lawson beats Yuki, he will be in the seat next year. If Yuki beats Lawson, they're not going to promote him, because for whatever reason they just don't want to. which is a very strange one. But yeah, best of luck to Liam Lawson this weekend. He's a fantastic driver, and I really hope it goes well for him. I think when he was first announced, he did get a bit of backlash, which, it's not nice, but you can see where it's coming from, when people get so attached to drivers, and if your favourite driver is dropped for another guy, you are not going to like that guy. Instinctively. You don't have to go on social media and harass him, but, that's just how it goes sometimes. Oh my god, guys, it's Be Real. Oh, gotta take advantage of this. So, smile, everyone, for the Be Real. So, yeah, we're just recording here, and I don't know what to say. I'm too distracted. I'm posting the Be Real. Oh my god, Be Real is post a Be Real, right? And then it says, you haven't posted. Post a late Be Real. So, here we go. Smile, everybody. Wow, you looked great. You looked really good there. Where was I? There you go. That's what you look like in my Be Real. Fantastic. This is the best preview we've ever done. Anyway, Liam Lawson, yeah. So I don't feel they're ever going to promote Yuki. So what they really want is Liam to just beat him easily. And personally, I feel like he might do that, because looking at how they compared last year, I think we discussed this all last week, but they were teammates for 5 races. In those 5 races, in qualifying it was 4-1 to Yuki, in the races it was 4-1 to Lawson. And that's with, Yuki having nearly half a year advantage in terms of getting to know that car, and having a 3-year advantage in terms of being a Formula 1 driver. So all the advantage was in the court of Yuki Tsunoda, and the stats do not reflect that at all. So I see no real reason as to why Yuki will beat Lawson this time round. I think Lawson will be the guy here. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he was in the Red Bull next year. If I was a betting man, which to be honest, I am, I would put money on Max and Lawson in the Red Bull next year. The bigger question mark for me is what the hell happens with the Racing Bills, because they got Yuki in that one seat there, but that second seat, what the hell happens? So they put Checo in the second team, do they bring Ricciardo back for, what is this, the 3rd time now? Or do they go Isaac Hadjar, Yuma Wasa, whoever it might be? Do they go Arvid Lindblad, you can skip Formula 2, we're going to put you in Formula 1 straight away, Max Verstappen style? There's a big question mark. That's where the question mark is for me. So we'll wait and see how that one plays out. But moving on now, everyone. I've got an itchy head inside my cowboy hat. Because it's time to talk Special Helmet Street and Special Livery Cul-de-sac. There's only one helmet to talk about so far, because as I said, we're doing this at a weird time when people haven't done their helmet announcements, or whatever the hell they call them. So the only real one to talk about is this, which is Liam Lawson's helmet. We haven't seen this year. Here it is. I like it. It's the typical Red Bull design. Got shades of pink on, which is always nice. And a lovely little cartoon Liam Lawson. What's not to love? But the big thing to discuss this weekend is special liveries, because we have 3 of them, all announced on the same day, all within an hour of each other. So let's talk about the first one, because we're in America. So we've got to talk about America's team, which is Haas. And this is what Haas have gone for this year. They always like to do a Texas special livery. Not too different here, really. Eagle on the side, star on there, some stars down here. That's about it. What's that on there? They look like some ghosts, but it might be the eagle again. Look, if there's 2 things I know America loves, it's eagles and stars, so bloody hell, they'll love this. The more interesting thing, well, not that eagles and stars aren't interesting, of course, but here is the Toyota Gazoo Racing logo on the nose cone. That huge partnership was announced a couple weeks ago, as we've discussed on the channel already. But yeah, they are part of the team livery already. When the partnership was announced, they showed a picture of the logo on the rear wing as well. So it'd be interesting to see, was that just a promotion thing, or is that a real thing going forward, that on the back of the rear wing, that logo will be there as well. But yes, not pushing the boat out too far for Haas here, but nice nonetheless. And now, Let's talk about this one, because if you look at this quickly, you go, oh yes, a McLaren. I'm familiar with one of those. But no, it's not a McLaren. This is an Alpine. And it's Alpine are promoting Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which is a game which is coming out soon. I don't know when, but it's coming out. And to do this, they've launched this Indiana Jones car, which is very nice. I mean, we saw the Deadpool Wolverine Alpine earlier this year. Here is the Indiana Jones one. Now, I think this car does actually look quite nice, but Alpine have gone out their way to try and make sure you don't know that. Because, like, they put this light on it and stuff, and they've really taken bad photos. So, what you can't tell from this, but, like, the bits here which look orange, that's a massive map. Like, you know the bits in Indiana Jones where a red dot goes along the map to tell you that he's travelling to a different country? Also, the numbers are in the Indiana Jones font, which is pretty cool. And there might be other details on this as well. But the promotional photos are so bad that you can't tell. So this might actually look very good. We'll wait and see. But, actually no, don't move on to the next one. There's also special race suits. They did a TikTok. They've got the map on there as well. Gasly wearing a hat similar to mine. You know, I'm a trendsetter. But you may look at that and go, that's a McLaren. So McLaren have made sure that they stand out from the Alpine this weekend by doing this. They brought back the chrome livery. Now, I was highly critical of their chrome livery last year. Was it last year or was it the year before? I can't remember. They might have done it twice. Who knows? But this one, hell of a lot better. I mean, personally, again, the ideal one for me, chrome livery, would be just do it how you did it before. You know, all chrome with like the orange hints if that's what you want to do. But nonetheless, this is very, very good because, you know, there's huge bits of chrome on here, no hiding it at all. And you know what? This is just a huge slap in the face of Red Bull for me because Red Bull was supposed to have that special livery for Singapore, but couldn't do it because the paint was too heavy and they would be too slow. Chrome paint is notoriously massively heavy, and McLaren have just gone, yeah, just bloody put it everywhere. It doesn't matter. We're really fast. So yeah, real slap in the face here from McLaren. Looking good. Very, very, very good stuff. And as we come back here to the main camera, you may have heard my phone vibrating as we were talking through that, because there's some breaking news, everyone. Breaking news on the preview. Starting from 2025, Formula One will no longer award a point for fastest lap. Now this is, I've just read this as I'm talking to you. My initial reaction, huge mistake. I love the point for the fastest lap, and I think getting rid of it is stupid. It makes fastest lap actually interesting because, you know, we were there when fastest lap meant nothing. And it meant nothing. Now, people actually give a damn about the fastest lap. And to take that away ruins that a bit. And I think that's maybe a reaction to the whole Daniel Ricciardo thing, where he took fastest laps and Norris didn't get the point. It's a massive overreaction, but yeah, I don't like it. Let me know what you think. Anyway, let's move on to the predictions here for this race weekend, sprint race weekend. Now, firstly, my first prediction is for the podium this year, and I've got 3 drivers here who I think will make up the podium, and this is in no particular order, so anyone could be first, second, and third here, but I'm predicting the 3 drivers on the podium, which are Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton. That is our podium this weekend. That's my prediction. Both Max and Lewis are specialists here. They are fantastic at this track. I'm going to get the stats up now before I forget. But, yeah, this track for them has been fantastic. So, Lewis Hamilton has won here 5 times. Max Verstappen has won 3. They are the only drivers ever to win this race more than once. In terms of podiums, Lewis has 9, Max has 5. They are the top 2 for this circuit. In terms of points, they are the top 2 for this circuit. In terms of laps led, actually, Sebastian Vettel has 2 more laps led than Max Verstappen, but still, he's up there for sure. But yeah, those 2 are incredible at this track, so they will definitely be up there. Lando Norris, we'll have to wait and see what these upgrades have done, but I'd be very shocked if McLaren fell off the top spot. But even there, Lando Norris, I think he was on the podium here last year, so he's got history of being decent at this track. So those 3 are your top 3 this weekend in the main race, of course. And my second prediction is that Liam Lawson will beat Yuki Tsunoda in the main race on Sunday. There are my 2 predictions, and of course, if you've been watching for a while, you know my predictions are never, ever wrong. So there you go. That is the preview. As for the rest of the videos this weekend, so tomorrow will be qualifying for the sprint. There'll be a video here after that to talk about all things that happen there. Then on Saturday, there is the sprint race. Now, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be here or not for the sprint race. I might be out. So either there'll be a video directly after the sprint, or it might have to come Sunday morning, but there's a big gap in between, so there'll be a video at some point for the sprint. But I will be here for qualifying on Saturday night, so the video will be immediately after that for the qualifying. Then on Sunday, of course, for the main race, the video will be immediately after. Then on Monday, there will be driver ratings. We are back fully into the swing of an F1 race weekend here on Stop and Go F1. So all of that to come this weekend. If you have missed any of the videos whilst we've been away, there's been tons of them as well, so make sure you check them out. There was the GP Masters video, Nigel Mansell's strange auction, my time at the F1 exhibition, all those videos on the channel. On Monday, I released a book review of Gunther Steiner's new book, so, there's loads of videos to come this weekend. There's loads of videos on the channel. You never have to watch another YouTube channel in your life. That's how much content there is right here. It's unbelievable, and I'm wearing a hat. Wow, it doesn't get better than this. I hope we have a fantastic weekend of F1. I hope to see you there. Have a good one. Until next time. How did Cowboys say goodbye? I feel like you shoot each other. I'm not going to shoot you. But this town ain't big enough for the both of us. There's a snake in my boot. Goodbye.